Welcome, friends. My name is Avinash Gorakshakar, and I welcome all of you to another interesting episode of Konexio HighFlyers. Friends, as all of you are aware, these episodes help us understand emerging companies from emerging sectors in a much better manner, and we make it a point to talk to the promoters and the top managements of such companies so that all of us can understand these companies better. We get to know their company's business model, their growth journey, and their future growth plans. And friends, in today's episode, we are going to talk to you about a very interesting company which is going to hit the capital market very soon. The company's name is TechEra Engineering India Limited, and we have the privilege of having, the chairman and managing director, Mr. Nimesh R. Desai. Nimesh bhai,
Namaste,
thank you very
everybody.
much. It's a pleasure to talk to you, and I hope that this interview will be very fruitful for all of our viewers. We also have Mr. Meet N Desai, who is the head of operations. So Meet bhai, आपको भी धन्यवाद. Thank you very much. With both of you, I think we'll have a very fruitful discussion, and we'll be able to understand, our company's operations in a much better way. So,
Thank you, sir.
in fact, first question, Nimesh bhai, which should be addressed to you, because you are the promoter, MD, and managing director of the company. If you could tell us something about, our company's business. हम लोग एक्चुअली क्या करते हैं, हमारा बिजनेस मेनली क्या है, और कौन से सेक्टर्स को हम केटर करते हैं. वैसे तो प्रोस्पेक्टस और प्रेजेंटेशन में सब कुछ है, लेकिन आपके प्रोफाइल से और आपके साइड से हम सुनेंगे तो हमको और अच्छा लगेगा. और सर, ये बिजनेस जर्नी, हाउ डिड दिस बिजनेस जर्नी स्टार्ट? How did this idea hit upon you? Was it a first generation effort, or was it the time your father started it, then you took it over, and then you have come up till now? So if you could please share your journey for us, that would also be helpful.
Namaste. Thank you, Avinash ji, for giving this opportunity because this has always been great that whenever you are telling your inspiring journey to somebody else, maybe someone get inspired for that and do something good for the nation and for the society. So I'm happy to share my journey. I started my journey in 1988 as a training engineer in Klockner Windsor India Limited, a Thane-based company. Then from the beginning, I was having a thought process in my mind that we'll do something for the nation, and in that way, we can't go to the border and fight, but we can do something by staying in the country itself, and that's the best way. What I identified is to become an entrepreneur and work for the nation and support to the society and create some opportunities for the jobs. So, and then working with Glockner Windsor for 5 years. Then I shifted to Pune, where I saw some small workshop, which was not the proprietor was not running it properly. So I just asked the question him that why you are not running this company, because I as a engineer came from some company and working on your machines, working with your operator and getting the job done. So why you are not doing it? Why are you not putting some supervisor here? So he said, I have big fabrication shop and my brother was an engineer, so I just uh, brought new machines and put it here. So I said, give it to somebody else who can run the show. So he said, okay, if anybody is there, let me know. I'm ready to give it. And I said, yes, I can take it. That's the 5 or 10 minutes of discussion. So I become an entrepreneur from the employee background. That's what my entrepreneurship journey started. So it was in 1988. So I bought that plant at the rental basis. So the land on the rental, the machine shop is also on the rental basis. Then slowly, slowly, as you are aware that when you start a new business, you found very difficulties because of the first generation funding has always been the issues. But somehow my family support me well. My father supported me very well during this difficult period. That's what the family always came into the picture, and that's what exactly happened with me as well. And then father gave me some funds, and I started getting some loan from the banks, convinced to the bankers because any loan you need, you should have a 3 year balance sheet. So I have to run the show for at least 2 years, and for the third years, I convinced the Cosmos Bank, and they were the first banker who gave me the loan, and I started my journey. Then slowly, slowly, I grown from part manufacturing on labor basis, then manufacturing of the as per the precision component, then started manufacturing small jig fixtures, designing jig fixtures, then started small automation system to be built within the company, and that way we started and grown from 7 crore to 54 crore organization. So in 2014, I got an opportunity to work with a foreign company, and we collaborate with each other in 2014. And this collaboration lasted for 5 years. And 2019, March 31st, I resigned as a MD and I sold my shares to them and started this company. Actually, Meet, he came from UK in somewhere in 2014 15 and joined my old company as a trainee engineer because I believe that always you should start with the shop floor. So he started with the shop floor as a trainee engineer. And when we decided that we were going to separate and we need to start new company, so I told him to go initially you out. I will finish it off all the legal compliances and I will come out. I will come and join you later on. So he started this company in 3rd of October 2018. So Meet is the
Okay.
actually founder of this company, and I
Okay.
joined him in 2019 May after completing
Okay.
all the formalities, sold my shares to them and got the funds and then joined this company.
Okay.
So basically, in earlier company, we were used to make automation systems, which is for the Audi, BMW, ZF and all these companies. So we used to manufacturing the assembly lines for them. So that experience was already we were having. But unfortunately, that kind of work you need a huge funds because automation line requires the integration of electrical, electronics, mechanical, hydraulic, and all these things. And for that, you have to buy the equipment from the outside and assemble, and then you can sell it to the customer. So that requires huge fund. So we decided to stick to our mechanical activity first, and then later on, after 2 3 years, we start the automation. So first year we started with the mechanical stuff, which is industries which feel I like very much, and my instinct was very strong at that time that aviation industries is going to be hit in a certain period of time to Indian industry. So because of that reason, we started in aerospace and defense from the first year. So first year our turnover was great. It was around 13.5 something crore, and because we were in the industry like defense and aerospace, so everything was grounded for almost 1.5 years. And from there, we started hating very badly. But fortunately, we were having some funds which I got from the earlier company. So we keep sustaining and sustaining and sustaining. And I was very much confident that something will happen in this industries only. And that was my confidence hit in 22 when I got a good order from our one of the biggest customer, and he is right now the biggest in India as well. So we got a biggest order for vertical stabilizer manufacturing, and then onwards we started this TechEra. So 2021, 22 was also some shaky, but 22, 23, and 23, 24 is a great year. And now I think we will not going to be look back behind. It's going to be a unless and until this government will stay and all the rules and regulations because this government focus is defense and aerospace. So that's the way we move forward, and I hope that the things is going to be very well in coming year as well. That's what the journey.
I think very inspiring, Nimesh bhai. Nimesh bhai, if you could also tell us, now since you say the focus has been aviation and defense, sir, हम हमारे company में कौन-कौन से products बनाते हैं? What are the kind of products we make? I think if you, Nimesh bhai, or Meet bhai can also contribute and tell us, typically what is the product range what we make, and typically, are these equipments critical equipments? इसमें क्या-क्या, R&D जाती है, designing जाता है, if you could give us some idea about how, the entire process works.
Of course. So being as a TechEra Engineering India Limited, we are in the two division. One is aviation and another one is automation division. Recently, we started after learning from COVID that एक ही sector में रहेंगे तो there will be a problem. So let us have some other sector. And we were already in the automation for the earlier years. So it was easy for us to be continue with the automation. That's why we started the two sector, aviation industries and automation. So in the aviation, we were in commercial aircraft as well and as well in defense aircraft. So in this aviation, in both the aircraft division, we have a three sector. One is design and manufacturing of tooling system to building the aircraft. Second is ground support equipment. And third is MRO. It's a maintenance, repair, and warranty. So let us come back to the first, that is design and manufacturing of tooling system to build the aircraft. कोई भी aircraft build करने के लिए, like the car building, they need a assembly line. Same thing for the aircraft building, they need a specific assembly line, and for that there is going to be a huge big fixtures which we they called as a tooling, and that's what we design and manufacture in this sector.
Okay.
Then second is ground support equipment. Now the ground support equipment is whenever the any aircraft comes into the hangar, it requires certain maintenance. And if you can see, the aircraft is very heighted, so you
Ah,
need some scaffolding systems to go into the aircraft. Then you need some hydraulic equipment which can rework and repair the aircraft. And specifically, if you consider into the defense, so let
ah,
us say aircraft, say some, let us say Rafale. So Rafael may not attack in his entire life to any country, and that's good for the humanity. But whenever you need any aircraft to go and attack to somewhere, it has to be in the working condition. So to
correct.
keep that aircraft into the working condition, they have to do the mock drilling kind of thing in every couple of months or 3 months or 4 months. It depends on the size of the aircraft. So when the one, let us say Rafael go into the somewhere remote area, attack the missiles, and let us make sure that everything is working and they came back. Once they come back, there everything has to be dismantled, again rework, again assemble, and for that purpose they need a ground support equipment. That's what
Okay.
we are playing a big role. And the third
Okay.
is MRO, which is repair and maintenance of the engines. So in MRO, there are protocols to uh, repair and maintain of the overall engines after a certain period of time. So they need to dismantle the big engines, which may be from Rolls-Royce, maybe from GE Aviation, maybe from Pratt& and Whitney. So they have to dismantle their engines, and then that engine required to be dismantled in different modules. It
Okay.
cannot be dismantled just like the way dismantling our car engine. So that modules we are manufacturing,
Okay.
supply to that companies who do the repair and maintenance work. So
Okay.
there are three companies basically. One is in US, which is Delta Airlines. They have a big MRO. Second is in UK. They also have a big MRO, and third is in Singapore. So the
Okay.
lot of aircrafts in Asia region which goes for the maintenance in Singapore. There are a lot of aircraft in Europe and Eastern countries where it goes for the river to the UK, and America is itself is a big continental. So the all the aircraft which belongs to the American continental, it goes to the Delta Airlines in Atlanta. So these are the three sectors. In automation, we do assembly lines. So for example, last year we built the entire assembly line. So the scope is understand the product, design the product assembly line, manufacture that line, assemble that line, assembly in our plant, and then
Hmm.
prove that product can be built on our line in our company. Then
Okay.
entire assembly line to get dismantled, take it to the customer end, again assemble there, again prove it there, prove the product. So we built a Godrej assembly line, washing machine assembly line for Godrej. It's a front loading washing assembly line. Then
Okay.
this kind of product can be built for anywhere. It is for the automotive, it is for the food product, it is for the pharma company machineries, everything. So we can
Okay.
build this kind of automation. That's what our product range is.
No, I think very nicely articulated by you, Nimesh bhai. Nimesh bhai, now tell us one thing that since if it is possible for you, sir, डिफेंस और एविएशन में सर हम ऐसे कौन कौन से मार्की कस्टमर्स को सप्लाई करते हैं इफ इट इज पॉसिबल बिकॉज आई नो देर आर सम कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी एग्रीमेंट्स विद यू बट कैन वी एज्यूम दैट इंडियन डिफेंस सेक्टर में जो बड़ी कंपनीज है आई मीन आई वुड नॉट लाइक टू टेक द नेम्स बट इफ यू कैन शेयर इफ इट इज
Yes.
पॉसिबल सर हमारे कंपनी में अभी जो ग्रोथ हमने देखा है पिछले 3 साल का बहुत ही स्ट्रॉन्ग ग्रोथ है, टॉप लाइन बढ़ा है, प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी बढ़ी है। तो ये कौन से कस्टमर्स होंगे? बिकॉज़ आपने जो बोला एमआरओ का काम करते हैं एंड यू डू लॉट ऑफ फिक्सचर्स एंड टूलिंग्स व्हिच आर वेरी क्रिटिकल फॉर द मैनेजिंग द
Yes.
डिफेंस एयरक्राफ्ट। So any names you can share for us? And secondly, sir, another added question is this business or order book business driven? Like हमको ऑर्डर बुक पहले से पता चलती है या बेसिकली ऑर्डर आते रहते हैं और हम लोग मैन्युफैक्चर करते हैं? सर ये कैसे होता है?
I think you must be knowing that couple of years back, one of the biggest and largest Indian company has got a collaboration with a foreign-based main one of the largest aircraft manufacturing company. They came to India and collaborate with an Indian big company, maybe
Okay.
first number one company in India right now. And in
Okay.
any, they are in the salt, they are in the car, they are in the everywhere. So they collaborate with them. Now that is related to the transportation aircraft, which require to deliver our military people, deliver our foods to the different location of our nation border. So that aircraft they started building in India 2 years back, and under the offset policy of the government, the 30% order value to be transferred to the Indian nation by the other foreign-based company. That is the rule.
Okay.
So that
Right.
30% order value started to India, and
Okay.
they they started their aircraft building in India. It was happening somewhere in 2021, 22. They decided to build, and they started delivering the drawings to the suppliers, and suppliers study the drawing. We also have done some R&D on that year 22 23. So that's why you can see the growth is all of a sudden goes from 7 crore to 23 crore, 26 to 20, because all the
Right.
R&Ds was done in 2 years back. So that we
Okay.
spend many hours, many days into that, understand the culture, understand the system of that particular aircraft. And 20 to 23, we started delivering small equipment to them. That's why the growth from 7 crore, 8 crore to 23. And from then onwards, the, the culture has been set into the organization, and the delivery started fastest into the second year as well. So that is the one of the biggest reason where we deliver, and our the growth is changing. And in now you can see then in these 2 years, our Indian, one of the largest aircraft manufacturing company, it's a PSU sector. They got an order of around 190 or 200 aircraft to be built in India. And in India as well, our Air Force require that aircraft. And proudly, we can say that our that aircraft also being started, exported to other countries, which is
Okay.
around last year's export figure was 33,000 crore, which was the largest in the history of India. That India can also deliver the defense to the world. Otherwise, it could have been America, Russia, and Germany. That's it. So India
Okay.
is also now our biggest. So that aircraft building in India, and for that aircraft they need an assembly line, and we started supplying them. And
Okay.
now the sequence is changing. The helicopter is coming to India as well to build the new helicopter. Airbus is
Okay.
started manufacturing their helicopter
Okay.
H311 in India as well.
Well,
So
understood. But
that's the
uh,
growth.
तो ना अंडरस्टूड निमिष भाई, बट निमिष भाई ये बिजनेस में मेरे को बताइए कि सर इज इट अ ऑर्डर बुक ड्रिवन बिजनेस लाइक 50 करोड़ 25
Yes.
करोड़ 30 करोड़ एटलीस्ट विद सम बॉलमार्क नंबर यू प्लान योर प्रोडक्शन एंड देन यू टेक अप द प्रोडक्शन ऑफ ऑल दीज मॉड्यूल्स these fixtures and tools, so is it like a proper pre-planned activity from your customers? That is what I wanted to understand. I
So
mean, does the business operate on a order book cycle basis?
yes. So if you go through the first three sectors, as I mentioned, in that we almost sure about that we will be getting that order, but they are releasing the orders sequentially. But in the
Okay.
component manufacturing side, where you can have a 5 years, 6 years, 7 years contract with the
Okay.
biggest OEM in the world right
Correct.
now, what they have, and that's what we have for 5 years.
Okay, understood. Yeah, got the point. Now tell me one thing, Nimesh bhai, out of our total revenue, I think if I'm not wrong, please correct me. For FY24, I think we were about roughly about 38.74 crores revenue. So इसमें से
Yes.
sir, how much of that revenue has come from MRO? कितना revenue fixtures और tooling से आया है? कितना automation से आया है? मोटा मोटी can we get some percentage from you? Not an exact number,
So,
but at least broadly what has come from what segment? If you could please tell us.
so, so first of all, I will divide this uh, revenue in two sectors. So one is aviation and another one is automation. So let us say
Yeah.
30-35% is coming from automation, and 65 to 70% coming from the defense and aerospace and commercial
Okay.
also. Now
Okay.
in
Understood.
this sector, let us say 65 you can divide into three our product what we are right now. So in that 60%, we are around 20, 30, 35 is our design and manufacturing tooling system. Then 15 to 20% in our ground support equipment, and 10 to 50% is coming from MRO. That's what the tally of the 65%.
Okay, understood. So got your point. Meet by now, sorry for keeping you waiting. Now, one question to you, sir. If you could tell us, what is the kind of market demand potential, for our products? Like Nimesh bhai made a very useful kind of description on the company's product profile, in fixtures, toolings, MRO, as well as automation. सर ये दोनों सेक्टर में हमको बताइए अगले 3-5 साल का what is the kind of demand outlook and market opportunity for a company like us and how are we planning to capitalize it? तो इसके बारे में सर बताइए.
Yes. So, sir, the India, the kind of economy India is today, we are becoming one of the key manufacturers in every segment. Now we have acquired a lot of skill. Government policies have helped in lot in bringing the technology transfer. Foreign direct investment FDI हमारे देश में आज is coming at a quicker rate. Customers are wanting to bring their technology here and make the most of the capability which we have. So, and in terms of aerospace and defense, this is very similar. Rather, it is the most in aerospace and defense right now. Okay, one thing is the population demand in India is what in billions now. We are the most highest, one of the most highest populous country in the world. इससे क्या हो जाता है? Simple example I would give you is the capacity India has for air travel. The current air travel infrastructure is not sustainable enough. The government is building more than 120, 130 airports in the country in 10 years, which means they are also buying aircrafts. We have seen in last 1 year a couple airline coming from an investment person. We have seen privatization of the government-owned airlines. So the privatization of this airline and new airlines coming up itself shows that the market demand is going to increase. जब ये बढ़ जाता है, which means that India is going to be in the business of buying more and more aircrafts from these biggest aerospace giants. When they are buying aircrafts for the travel in commercial sector, which means इसका maintenance, the MRO activities, the ground support equipment, the tooling manufacturing will also come to India. And aircraft is a component which takes time to manufacture. There is a lot of technology required, and that technology is coming through the government agencies, which is helping the FDI people. And MSMEs are more than capable. MSME like TechEra, like ours, we are ready to gear to make the most of these incoming flow of business into the country. And also, like I said, key competency लगता है to manufacture such kind of equipment and product. We have it in the country, and the world wants to make the most of it right now. 2 5 years, rather 10 years, is belonging to the aerospace and defense segment in India. And that is what we are positioned to take advantage of such opportunities, basically.
Very good. I think very rightly said, Meet bhai. Meet bhai, now tell us one thing that in each of the product segment we operate, सर हमारे प्रोडक्ट में कस्टमाइजेशन होता है मीत भाई इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग यू हैव वेरियस
Right.
कस्टमर्स नॉट सर हाउ इज द प्राइसिंग डिसाइडेड इज इट ऑन अ ऑर्डर टू ऑर्डर बेसिस कि भाई एक कस्टमर को ये प्रोडक्ट चाहिए ये टेक्निकल स्पेसिफिकेशन चाहिए फिर उसके बाद आप कोटेशन भेजते हो देन यू से ओके दिस इज द प्राइस एट व्हिच आई कैन वर्क so can we assume that our
Right.
pricing is very flexible at the same time it is very dynamic you know does it work like that on a case to case basis with our customers?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It works on case-to-case basis with our customer, depending what aircraft customer is having requirement for. उसके अंदर भी कौन से एयरक्राफ्ट के कौन से पार्ट के लिए उसको सपोर्ट चाहिए मैन्युफैक्चर. So if it is a commercial aircraft, then the sizes are big, then the pricing changes, then the material is different. If it is a defense sector aircraft, if it is a defense sector manufacturing, then the designs are different. So this customization helps us, and the variety actually keeps us very open. ये variety से ही हम ज़्यादा सीखते हैं. So every time when we manufacture a product which is different from the previous one manufactured, it is different from for a different aircraft. It gives हमारे learning में ये add हो जाता है. Every time it adds to our learning, next time it makes me easier to support the customer better. क्योंकि हर बार मैंने नया प्रोडक्ट बनाया तो मैं उससे सीख जाता हूँ. एंड द सेम
बराबर.
थिंग अप्लाइज टू द प्राइसिंग. प्राइसिंग भी प्रोडक्ट टू प्रोडक्ट चेंज होता है डिपेंडिंग ऑन कौन से एयरक्राफ्ट के लिए, कौन से कस्टमर के लिए इम्पोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट है, हम कौन सा प्रोडक्ट के ऊपर काम कर रहे हैं. बेस्ड ऑन दैट इट चेंजेस. The requirements of these customers are very stringent. So we have to work out that proposal based on the design and engineering the customer gives us, and accordingly give them a proper competent manufacturing solution.
Anyway, nice to know. Meet by very nicely mentioned by you. Nimesh bhai, now tell us one thing. Like we know the financials of the company already हमारे पास है. Sir, how do we add value to the customer? हम actually customer को customer delight कैसे देते हैं? I mean, as you said, you all have grown from 7 crores to 38 crores. Obviously, people have respected your product quality, execution, service. तो सर दो तीन चीजें हमको बताइए कि क्वालिटेटिव टर्म्स में कि सर हम दूसरों से अच्छा काम क्यों करते हैं, एंड व्हाई इज इट दैट आवर क्वालिटी इज लाइक्ड बाय द कस्टमर comes back with maybe larger amount of repeat business. That is point number one. And secondly, sir, is our business largely human talent driven business or is it capital oriented? यानी ज्यादा पैसा लगाना पड़ता है अगर ग्रो करना है, या do we have a good talent base? That talent base only can help us grow better rather than only capital. So sir इसके बारे में बताइए.
So I will ask you, I will reply the second question first. So as you mentioned, it's a both actually. It is a capital intensive industries because you need lot of machines to build the product, to make the product. And because this industry is very new in India, there are very less skilled manpower available. So we have to retain them very sincerely. We have to identify the people. So we have a concept called who and what. बेसिकली पहले क्या होता था, हम जेडी और केआरए बनाते थे और उसके हिसाब से आदमी ढूंढते थे. सो नाउ वी आर वर्किंग इन अ रिवर्स वे. हम पहले अच्छे आदमी ढूंढते हैं, उसका अप्रोच अच्छा होना चाहिए, उसका एटीट्यूड अच्छा होना चाहिए, और उसके बाद हम उसको, और इंजीनियर होना चाहिए, दैट इज अ बेसिक. उसके बाद फिर हम उसको कंपनी में लाते हैं, उसको ग्रूम अप करते हैं, उसको ट्रेन करते हैं, उसको प्रोडक्ट के रिलेटेड हम सिखाते हैं, देन वी मूव फॉरवर्ड. So this is the entire 360 change in concept. Where if you want to work in this kind of industry, you should have this approach where first who and then what, instead of having what and who. That's what the change we are applying in this industries. That is number one. And what was your first question?
I was saying that, sir, how do we add value to the customer? यानी,
Oh, correct. Understood.
value addition कहाँ से आता है? Like, is it our product? Is it our service? Is it our execution? That is why you get more repeat business. Sir, ऐसा क्या हम लोग थोड़ा सा अच्छा काम करते हैं qualitative terms में कि the customer is happy, he also gives us more orders. So how do we, add value to the customer, from our side?
Okay. So as I told you that we are creating the skill into the organization. Now I will give you a live example, which is right now going on somewhere in the India. So the tools, all the tools, ready-made tool, which is required to the manufacturing the aircraft, which is brought in from France, which is the largest, one of the largest aircraft manufacturing company. They brought all their tools in a separate way to India. Now the Indian company who has acquired that toolings, they have a two options. Option number one, either they order to the France company to come here, assemble this, and put it in a working condition. That's one. And the second option, either they have to their own skill manpower, train them, send it to the France, train them, get it done, and come back to India and then do it. This is the two option the customer is having. So we gave a solution to the customer. You did not have to do anything. You did not have to send your people to the France, or you need not have to bring the France people to India. We have a trained people in our company. We will send you to your place. They will give you all the training and everything, and we'll set the equipment there. That's what we did it right now. It is on the final stage. So that is the huge value addition we have given to the customer. Otherwise, it could have been given the 10x cost, which we built in 1x.
Okay, understood. So basically, you have saved a lot of money for the customer. Plus, you got
Yes.
even a similar or better product to the customer because of your contribution. So I mean, both ways, customer is benefited, cost as well as
And
product.
and इससे ऐसा बोलते हैं ना कि हम कुछ करने के लिए कुछ कर जाते हैं, लेकिन उसका उसका जो बेनिफिट है वो बहुत ह्यूज है, बाद में आता है. नाउ आवर largest company in India, they will be manufacturing the aircraft shortly in India. You will see within another 5-6 years there कहाँ पर Boeing 737 खड़ा होगा, बाजू में A350 होगा, और उसके बाजू में somewhere our commercial aircraft will be landing and will be staying there. और वो जो
Okay,
aircraft बनाने के लिए जो skill लगता है, that already we built now because of this.
okay.
तो
No, no,
ये
I think
benefit it is multifold.
okay, exactly. No, no, I
This
think
is
understood.
multifold.
I think, Nimesh bhai, now let's come to the financials, sir. As you rightly mentioned, we have also seen that profit after tax, in FY24 has jumped to almost 4.82 crores. पिछले साल 1.2 crores था, फिर रेवेन्यू भी मेरे ख्याल से कुछ 26 crores से 38 crores हो गया है. तो
Yes.
पहले तो सर बताइए, लेट मी आस्क यू अ वेरी सिंपल क्वेश्चन, वाज इट a mix of volume and value that contributed, like more orders came in at better realizations, better values, and obviously you all ramped up the business very well, so this number came in. So first, what were the reasons, primary reasons for this solid performance? And now since we are in already in FY25, we are now in September, sir, without giving a number, Nimesh bhai, I don't want a number, मेरे को सिर्फ बताइए सर, अभी फ्रॉम द कस्टमर्स व्हाट यू आर हियरिंग, ग्राउंड लेवल पे जो सिग्नल आपको मिल रहे हैं, आपको क्या लगता है कि सर ये साल, that is FY25, also will be a similar strong year for us?
Will grow year on year 30%.
Okay.
And every 2 years, let us say इस साल एक है, अगले साल 30% होगा, नेक्स्ट ईयर अगेन 30% होगा, लेकिन थर्ड ईयर में वो 50% होगा. That's what
अच्छा.
the growth is going to be we are expecting. So 30
Okay.
30 and then 1 year will come, it will go to 50 or 60, then again 30 30, then 1 year will come again. That kind of growth what I am assuming, or my instinct is saying, and that's what the growth I have seen from last 20 years in my career. That's
Okay.
that's what it is. And your first question was how the profit grown up,
Yeah.
Balakrishnan. So as I mentioned earlier also that we have spent a lot of time with R&D in 22-23 and 21-22 also. So the culture has been built, the skill has been built in such a way. तो कल जो हमको करने के लिए 6 घंटा लगता था, वो आज करने को 2 घंटा लगता है. So the
बराबर.
productivity has those increased for the same product which we are building a year back. Now we are building in a around 30-40% less timing. So that is the one biggest advantage what we are having right now, that we have grown. Our skill level has been grown in a very drastic way, and that is going to be effect in a coming year very huge way, because
Okay.
capital is also coming in. So अभी तो पहले तो क्या था, कैपिटल के लिए मारामारी करना पड़ता था, तो हम स्किल लेवल पे इनहेंस करने को मिल गए. तो दैट एडवांटेज वी हैड कि हमने स्किल लेवल ग्रोन कर दिया. तो अभी तो स्किल भी हो गया, पैसा भी हो गया, तो अभी क्या चाहिए, अभी सिर्फ
बराबर.
काम
And I think
चाहिए.
I think very very aptly said by you, Nimesh bhai. Sir, abhi most important question of the interview today, sir. We are tapping the capital market. I'm quite sure it will be a big success. Sir, tell us one thing,
Yes,
sir. What is the size of the issue we are planning to raise? And sir, ये पैसा हम किसके लिए use करेंगे? What is the main objective of raising this money?
I think Meet will explain you better.
Yeah, yeah, Meet bhai.
Right. So basically, the reason, the strategic reason behind bringing the IPO is obviously to हमको financially to make us a very strong contender to make the most of the opportunity which is coming ahead. We have a good foresight on what is coming ahead of us. For that, we need to upgrade our infrastructure and machinery. So that is one portion of what we are trying to do here, and that upgrade will take our capability to a different level. Such kind of competency which we are bringing in AI is something which the customers are looking for. They want someone to come forward and say that we can do the more complex tasks, more critical projects, more critical manufacturing, and that can only happen when you have upgraded yourself on what you were. So that is one part, building infrastructure and adding machinery to increase the or market cap basically. One of the other reason is there are we are trying to raise around 30 CR from the market, and that will have some portion of working capital which will be utilized for funding the projects which we have and making our cycles better to support the customer and to support the industry better. And some portion will be utilized to for clearance of some of the long-standing bank debts which we need to clear off. And again, all this is going to add to the profitability and productivity of the company. So that is what our plans look like, and we are quite sure that with the plan which we have in place, we are going to be gearing up for next target which we have in our mind, and we are sure that
I think very nicely
With
mentioned.
with majority portion will go to the machineries.
Okay. Okay, understood.
So
So basically,
yes,
majority portion will go for machinery, some part of it will go for working capital, and some part
yes,
of it will go for repaying some bank debts. तो वो मोटा मोटी ऑब्जेक्टिव है, ठीक है, समझ गए।
correct.
अच्छा,
correct.
भाई अभी बताइए, आपने वर्किंग कैपिटल के बारे में बात की। नॉर्मली हमारा जो बिजनेस होता है, डिफेंस बिजनेस इज सपोज टू बी हैविंग ग्रेट पोटेंशियल, बट वर्किंग कैपिटल थोड़ा सा लंबा होता है। तो सर, वर्किंग कैपिटल साइकिल हमारे धंधे में कितना लंबा है? लाइक typically what is the working capital cycle in our business? If you can please share your thoughts.
So the normal working capital cycle in our business right now is 120, 130 days around, and that is what we are looking at. And the current plan going ahead is to optimize it more and more and bringing it to a better level. And we are certain that it is going to happen now, because such kind of once you gain the competency, once you have the learning and experience, you can implement it in delivering the product better, quicker, quality-wise also, delivery-wise also, which always helps in reducing the working capital cycle. And also that even if the industry is aerospace and defense, we are very well shaped to improve this kind of thing, which might appear challenging at first, but when you get ahead of it, then it is not something which we need to worry about.
Okay, understood. Nimesh bhai, last question now to you. Sir, you mentioned about COVID, which was one of the most rarest kind of, developments in our
Yes,
country, not only India, but across the globe. Sir, हमारे धंधे में सबसे बड़ा risk क्या है? Like, what is the main risk which is important in our business, and how we manage that risk so optimally up till now? Sir, इसके बारे में बताइए.
sir. What we identify right now, the only major risk is government, which is possibility of changing. But now the last election, which was unfortunately, the current government has don't have a 100% seat, but they will manage to
Yeah.
continue with the 5 years. So that is the biggest thing what we identify in these industries, because every government has a different approach to move towards the industry. Some governments will have a focus on agricultural, but some government may have a focus on industries like us. So that is the biggest risk what I believe right now. And some one more risk I realizing that the operational where we are right now is only one plant what we have.
Ah,
So if any, so that is what the risk, but we are mitigating by uh, telling the people that we are in the niche industries and there will be no. And now I don't think so. There will be a more risk of that because we are already in the IPO. Our team knows about that. We are already giving the ESOP to them. We are already giving the great kind of salaries and everything is very high standard, which is not in the normal case. So we mitigated that risk, but yes, there was a risk that we are operating from the one plant and another one is government. That's what.
okay. So anyway, so Nimesh bhai, it means that if you remove the government risk, and obviously as you said, you have been rewarding good amount of people. You got one plant. I mean, hopefully in future, why God bless, sir, business बढ़ेगा तो और आपका नया
Another,
plant भी
yes,
आ जाएगा. So so otherwise the runway for you to grow in the next say 3 to 5 years is a very big opportunity. And
yes,
fortunately, I can only tell you that your selection of those two sectors, or aviation and defense, which
awesome.
you selected, have actually helped you proactively tap this market, because at that point about 10 years back nobody was looking at it seriously, but today defense has been a focus area for the at least by the current government, so उसका benefit तो आपको जरूर मिलेगा. तो सर बहुत अच्छा लगा मीत भाई और निमेश भाई आपसे बात करने में, और आई थिंक आवर व्यूअर्स विल आल्सो एंजॉय लिसनिंग टू योर इंटरव्यू. वी कुड लर्न अ लॉट फ्रॉम बोथ ऑफ यू. Sir, from my side, thank you very much and best wishes to you, your entire management team, or sir, best wishes for your forthcoming public issue also. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.